We're back. We stopped the video.
Okay, great. Okay, welcome everybody to day number 2 of our Google Calendar. Today is Tuesday, August what? 26th. Everybody should know that because they looked at their calendar, right? Okay, good. So we just watched our Anson Alexander video, or we watched half of it, at least here in Nevada we watched half. We'll watch the other half tomorrow. It was about creating events. There was a lot of information there. One thing that everybody should get, including people who were frustrated and confused, is, wow, this calendar application does a lot. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that as yes. You can do a lot. So if you master this, and it only takes time in order to master it, if you master it, then you have a huge, powerful tool at your disposal. And the key word is power. So, Victoria, what would you say, what is the definition of power that you would use? What does power mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, now go. That you have control over something?
Control over something? Is that what you said?
Yes, it is. Okay,
good. Who wants to say another thing about power? What does power mean?
You're effective.
Okay, effective. What else? Nobody knows what power means?
Power. In this sense, it makes it a lot easier.
If a car has power, it has control.
No, it has stress.
Okay.
It has drive.
It has energy, right?
Right.
Okay. Power would be, one description of power is the amount of energy potential it has.
Right.
Okay. So, so it comes down to power has something to do with energy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And if we're talking about a power hammer, what is that?
Strong.
A power hammer. What would you think that would be?
Something that hammers something for you.
Extraordinary.
That might be an electric hammer that has electricity, nuclear-powered hammer.
With the ability to perform at a fast
So,
rate or something.
a powerful person is someone that what?
It's effective.
Okay, a person has power is someone that can get other people to do things. Everybody agree with that definition?
Yes,
Does that
yes,
work?
Yes.
Now, powerful people don't always use their power. Does that make them less powerful?
No.
Right, doesn't. They're just not using their power at that particular time. Now, what if people, can you be a powerful person and have people voluntarily do what you want them to do?
Yeah.
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 Okay? They do it because they trust you, they believe in you, whatever. Now, if you're a powerful person, can you force people to do things?
Yeah. You can.
Can Judge Kearns force you to do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Does he have power? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, power is the ability, and when it comes to dealing with other people, it's the ability to get people to do things you want them to do. What does that have to do with the calendar? How does that tie into a calendar? Because remember I said, this calendar is a powerful app. This is a powerful thing.
It makes you organized, more organized.
Okay?
Do a lot of things for you.
It's a social thing. I mean,
What's the power? We just said power is the ability to get people to do what you want them to do.
He just showed us on a video where when we set up events and stuff like that, and we send it to other people who know, we can control like the time.
Okay. Can you say what Otis said in fewer words?
It points us in the direction that we should be going into.
Okay, but let's say, how is this calendar app powerful?
Because control other people's
Exactly, because you can control other people. How do we control other people through a calendar?
Information.
By setting events and you invite them to the event. So if you create an event and you invite somebody, who's in control at this point? You are. Now, if the person says, I can't do it then, now what? Now who's in control? They said no to you, right?
Right.
Control is, you could say it's up in the air who's in control, because If he said, I can't do it then, but I can do it an hour later, where did power just go? Who's getting the other person to do something? Huh?
Yeah, but at the same time, if they're still willing to comply to your request for the event, then you still have some power.
So you create an event, you invite them, you have power, right? Because you're trying to get somebody to do something you want them to do.
Right.
If they say yes, you have the power.
Right.
If they say no, I can't. Who has power now?
It's up in the air.
But who has the power? It's unknown. Okay? Because they're not forcing you to do anything, right? They didn't say anything other than I can't. Now, what if they say, I can't do it then, how about an hour later? Where did power go? It went to them, because now they're getting you to do what they want.
Right.
Okay? Now, what we learned yesterday on the Lincoln thing is Lincoln, one of the skills that Lincoln had was the ability, she said, to give away things in a case. He didn't have to win every point. He only wanted to win the 3 or 4 important points. And he would give the other stuff away. That made them think what? They had what? They had power. That they were in control. But he'd let them win the little things. And so, you know, that's a trap that we fall into. You get a little bit of power, you think you're in control. The person who has more power gives you this little breadcrumb.
Right.
You gobble up and you think you have power. So this app is very powerful because it gives you the ability to control what other people do. Does anybody think that's not important?
That's very important.
Okay, now, Marion, you had a question.
What if they say they can't come at all? Then?
Okay, well, you don't have any power over them
No power
unless
at
you
all.
can say, if you don't show up, then this other thing that's even worse than showing up will occur.
And you gotta have some dirt on it.
Okay? So, who is here for the Marcus Aurelius? Marion? Okay. And one of the things about Marcus Aurelius is he had power over everyone in the world, right? And the world as the Romans knew it. He could have anybody, he could do anything he wanted. He had absolute power. No, he wasn't. That's why he's so important. So, the calendar is a very powerful tool because it gives you the ability to control what is happening, not just to you, to other people. Can you have power over yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you do that? Who's the person who has power over yourself? Huh? Your brain? So that's the old philosophy. There's a difference between your mind and your body. Like your mind tells your body what to do. Okay, that has been disproven. Okay, that was the old theory. But you don't have power over your own self. You have self-control.
Oh.
Okay?
Is it motivation?
You don't give in to your desires.
Is it motivated?
Huh?
Is it power when you're motivated? Isn't there
Well, power is the ability, it's potential energy to get things to happen.
Motivated.
Well, that's an internal thing, right? If you motivate other people, that's a way to exert your power. Right? One way is force. Do it or I kill you, right? Another way is if we do this, good things are going to happen. Let's all work together.
But you can motivate yourself, so isn't that self-power when you motivate
No, you can't, because power is somebody controlling someone else. You can't control your own self. Okay? You can have self-control, though. So a lot of people, like people that have addictions, right?
Right.
They might say the drug has power over me.
Right.
Okay, but it doesn't. It's not. Doesn't really. The drug is not self-aware.
Right.
Doesn't say I'm going to get Otis to do anything. Doesn't care about Otis.
Right.
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 Okay. Anyway, we're getting far afield from this. But today is a simple thing that I want to make sure, because there's only, well, actually, we're only going to do one thing. We'll talk about the second thing because it's so easy. Okay. Oh, okay. So, creating events is the thing. How do we put an event on the calendar? And he went through in 10 minutes, step by step by step. And there's a lot of information. But if we go here, go to our calendars, and you just check a box, and you open it up, and you do edit event, and you just start at the top. Okay, you could get very confused because there's a lot of space in there to do things, right?
Right.
And what do I call it? Call it something that makes it the fewest number of words. This is where less is more comes in. The fewest number of words to describe this event. This is like a trigger for you. Whatever you call the event is the trigger to remind you what it is. You don't have to put the whole event. Date, time, start time, end time, end date. All day, or does it repeat? We don't need to worry about those right now. Here are the details. Where is it? Now, if you put an address in here that is on Google Maps, on another app called Google Maps, if you put that address in there, it will become a link. It'll be blue, and then you could click on it, and it will launch the map. So it gets to be very easy to find out where is this event. I don't need to go look it up somewhere else. Is it a video call? So that is a link to what's the Google app that has to do with video calls.
Voice.
We're on one right now.
Right.
Hangout. Hangouts.
IM.
Well, no, it's called Hangouts in Google. So what calendar does it go through? Now here's where he said you've got to be, pay attention to this, because if you put something on one of your other calendars and that calendar's not visible, what happens?
It won't do you any good.
Why?
It won't pop up.
Because you won't see it,
Yeah.
right? You won't see it. So, but now what do I do on Fridays for our tests? I get up early in the morning or Thursday night. I create the tests. I save them to my calendar.
Right, so we can link to it.
Now I save them to my calendar so you can't see it. Because before we had people who thought they were too clever by half, and at 7 o'clock in the morning they would go on and see what the tests were. Okay? Okay, they don't get you're cheating yourself when you cheat.
That's right.
You're not cheating me. You're not cheating the school.
Right.
You're not becoming a good employee. You're not going to be somebody who's going to get stable and meaningful employment in a good position if you're cheating yourself. So anyway, it just was easier for me to change it so that I create an event and put it to my calendar, and then in the mornings, like Friday morning when I'm up here,
Then you have to share it.
and then I say, okay, now hit F5, because then I change the calendar and I put it back on the class calendar.
Right.
Okay, so which calendar is on is very important. And if you have 20 calendars like I do, you don't have all of them showing up at once.
Yeah, and that's what.
So if you put it on the wrong calendar, what's going to happen?
You won't see it.
I won't see it because I only have about 3 calendars visible. Okay? Description. Here is where you put in the details, things you want to remember. Now, don't just think in terms of, what do I want to remember today? Think in terms of 6 months from now, what do I want to remember about that event?
Today.
Or 6 years from now, what do I want to remember about that event? Or when I get to the event, like it's next week, I've got a meeting with somebody, what are the things that I want to talk about at that event? Okay? So don't skimp on this area right here. Add attachment, what do you think that links to? What Google app does that go to? Docs, right. Matt said it Docs. It goes to Docs. So, yeah. So we've gone to Maps, Hangouts, Docs, Event Color. Now, Hansen was not correct when he said you can change the color, but I advise you not to.
Well, what about the difference between campus and your personal one and the employment plan?
Those are automatically different colors. When you get a different calendar, it automatically creates it as a color that's different from the ones you have.
So it's specified.
But we're talking about you create an event. Why should you not have a different color?
You should have.
So if it's going to be on a different
Well, Anson
calendar,
said you shouldn't have a different calendar.
Particularly for your calendar only. And then it lets them know that it's on someone else's calendar.
Well, you only no on their calendar it'll be a different color.
That's what I'm saying. It lets them know that it's from you, it's from your calendar.
No, because when I send you an event to your calendar, it'll show up as your color on your calendar, not my color. Okay, you'll see that tomorrow.
It'll confuse you there.
Anson said you can change the event color, but I suggest you be careful and don't really do it because it could be the same color as another calendar and you won't know what calendar it's from. Wrong answer. How many colors are here right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You can also create custom.
How many calendars do you have right now?
2, 3.
Okay, you'll have 3. You should have 3. You should have created your employment calendar.
I do have that.
Okay?
And I
So
have-
that means you have extra colors, right?
Right.
So you could use colors to indicate whether it's important or whether it's bad. You know, like you might use red. Here's a bad thing, a bad event. I don't want it. Here's green. Here's a good event. Just make sure your calendar isn't your fundamental, your basic calendars are not calendars that you want to have as significance. If you only have 3 calendars and you have those 3 calendars showing at one time, and let's say one is purple, one is blue, and one is, let's say it's blue, let's say it's these first 3, just for simplicity. So you have all these other colors. So you might say, okay, any event that's a good positive event, I want to turn it to green. That way, when you're looking at your calendar, you might have 50 events. You're looking for a particular event. Is it going to be easy to find the good one?
Yeah.
Why? Why is it going to be easy to find?
Because
Because it's green.
Right.
Okay? You're not going to have to look through all of the events to find out where was the good event. Same thing with red. Right? If it's a bad event, any bad event I have, I'm going to use red. I don't care which calendar it's on. If I have one calendar visible, if I have all my calendars visible, I want to see all the bad events or I want to see all the good events. So what Anson was talking about is don't have events that are the same colors as calendars. But it's a very powerful tool if you have events that have to do with the colors that are the significance of the event. Green, good, red, bad, yellow, warning, danger, maybe good, maybe bad, whatever. So the thing is, if you create a calendar, don't use the colors you're going to use for significance. And you can change the color of the calendar very easily. In the drop-down box with that calendar, so I'll show you how to do that. In the drop-down box associated with the calendar, so LV Campus, choose custom color. So I can change the color just by doing that. Okay, now I can still have all of my red or bad, all of my green or good, but all of them that aren't good or bad, that I didn't change the color to specifically, they'll be whatever I change the rest of my things to. So the point is, if you create a calendar and it sets the default as red, just change it to another color. It's very easy.
So you're creating something on that week, and I'm thinking it's probably pretty easy. If you wanted to create a calendar for something in September, you create and then tell it the
So
date.
what I would do is this. I go to this calendar here.
No, you don't have to do it that way.
I go to what I would do.
Okay.
And what I would do is the best way to do it. You can do it however you want.
No,
I've been doing this for a long time, trust me.
okay, so move to the date, the calendar.
So let's say it's September 10th, the day before the world changed, right? Why did the world change on the 11th?
Oh, September 11th.
9/11, yeah.
Okay.
So September 10th, the day before the world changed, which also happens to be my birthday.
I'll write that down.
Oh, wow. So I go to September 10th. Now what? Now what?
Now, pick what you have to know the event.
Okay? So I moved to this day. Now I'm on September 10th.
Okay, and then
Okay.
now create an event or edit an event.
Yeah, so I can either go to the time I want, or I can just click anywhere and click edit event. And I'm back at this page.
Right, and then you do what we're talking about.
Yeah, then we go from there. So
Okay.
the point is, there's a lot because this is a powerful app. If this was a manual calendar, the old calendars we're used to, what would I be able to do? From a regular piece of paper calendar?
Send it by mail.
Okay, but what can I do with the calendar?
See what you need to do.
Just write in something, right?
Right.
I just write in the event. But now if I'm like Otis, I'd have this big bag of colored pencils and pens next to me and crayons, and I could color over that event, right?
Right.
But basically, if I just have a piece of paper calendar, all I can do is write in an event.
Your birthday
That's
is on
easy.
the 11th or the 10th?
It's the day before the world changed.
All right. Not that I'm going to get you anything, but
I understand. So we're going to wrap it up for today. But if this is confusing, if the calendar is confusing, it's because you're thinking in terms of the old calendar. When somebody says calendar you, your brain pictures a piece of paper that has squares on it, and you write stuff in. Okay? I want you to change the image in your brain to one of power, where you can now have a lot more power and control. And one of the other things that, and we're going to wrap it up with this, one of the other things that you have power and control over is you don't ever have to think about what comes next if you use your calendar. Why is that? If you use this calendar, why is that? Because it's going to be there. Why else do I ever have to think about what comes next? Right. Sends reminders. If I use the calendar the way it should be, I have power over other people. I have control over my time. I don't have to be wondering, worrying, thinking. VUCA doesn't affect me, right? There's no uncertainty. I just wait for my phone to chime. And I just train myself that if that thing goes beep, I know I have to look at it. If my phone goes beep and I say I'm too busy, then I might miss something. Okay, so tomorrow, California, we'll start off with any questions. If you have any questions, anything's unclear, we'll start with that tomorrow.
Okay.
We're at time and we have 9 people in here. Yes. So thank you, California.
So, thank you
Great
for the feedback.
when I see my calendar, it's got all your information.